My name is Anurag, and I work at DealsPlus, UK-based startup, and I'm a self-taught developer. I have taught coding myself through YouTube and Udemy, and I also teach web development. Like I learned from YouTube, I teach on YouTube. Now I pay the debt which I have taken from the YouTube, and my channel name is Anurag Singh Pro Coder. And today we will try to make our own React, but React itself is very huge. We cannot make everything in half an hour. We will just try to understand how React works behind the scenes, how React is implemented, how everything works together. But in order to digest this talk, you should have good knowledge of JavaScript. You should know like all the things in JavaScript advanced concepts also, and you should have written complex codes before in JavaScript. So this talk might be little difficult to digest in one go. It might take after this talk, you might need to watch again. So there is one question, one JavaScript question I have put it here. If I ask, what is the difference between this block of code, this if statement, and one second, and this ternary operator? Can anybody tell? Just this is the question. Like, what is the fundamental difference between these two? Anybody? So many React developers. This is just a small JavaScript question. Just answer. Like, what is the major, like, fundamental difference? Not syntactical difference. Like, this is big, this is small. Not like that. If you think that is the answer, that I'm not expecting. Any difference? Like, okay, so I will answer it. Like, this if is a statement. Like if this block of code is a statement and this is an expression, we can save the value of an expression into a variable, but we cannot save the expression of we cannot save the value of an statement into a variable. So this is just basic JavaScript. Okay, and like anybody here did not answer that, so I would say you don't know if else yet. You need to watch this video on my YouTube channel. I will tell you more about it later. So now let's build our own React. I have set up one basic simple project, and it is nothing but only running a server with an index HTML file. It has one main.js file connected. And if I show you the dependencies, I have not installed React anywhere. I'm using Parcel to bundle my code, and I'm using Babel. Like Babel comes with Parcel by default. So it will transpile our JSX to React.createElement. Okay, so this is the basic setup, and our server is running. So let us just put a console log just to check if everything is works. Hello geeks. And let me give it a refresh, and it is working. Hello geeks, how are you? Good. So we will start. So whenever we write React, the most important thing is JSX. Just imagine if we didn't have JSX, we have to write react.createElement. That will be very difficult. So JSX is transpiled into react.createElement using a plugin or a library or compiler, we will say, that is called Babel. So I have put one babel.rc file just to tell our compiler that we have not installed React. Just compile my React code, just compile my JavaScript JSX code. Okay, so let me write one JSX. For example, h1. This is my JS file, and I'm writing HTML kind of thing, which is JSX. Okay, hello geeks. So if just I open my console, it is giving one error that React is not defined. I have not imported React, I have not used React, but this is giving error. If you remember, at earlier times, React used to give error if we don't import React and if we use JSX. Earlier previous versions of React used to give the similar kind of error. That kind of error we are getting. Now we need to import React from where? I have not installed React here in the package.json. So we will create our own React. Let us create a file, react.js, and let me show you. This parcel is transpiling our code into react.createElement h1, and it is passing hello geeks. This is why we are getting that error. React is not defined. And if I pass, 1 second, let me close these two files. Can you see it? Is it clear? Okay. So uh, I will, if I pass class name also here, let me pass class name equals heading. So if we come here, it is being transpiled to react.createElement. Now we will create this function. We will create our own function, createElement. Okay, in this file. So let's create a function, createElement, and this will receive three props, like three arguments, we would say. First is type of element, that is h1 in this case. It can be div, it can be h2, it can be a paragraph. Second is all the properties. This is called props. Okay, this is all the attributes that we pass here, like class name in this case. We can pass ID, we can pass more things, other things. So the first argument that it is receiving is type of element that it is trying to create. The second argument will be props. And the third argument can be children. And children can be multiple. So that's why we are using spread rest params here, children. And we will create a React element. And if you don't know what is a React element, it is just a simple object. I will show you. I will just create const React element. So whenever we write a JSX, that is converted into an object. Okay, so we will try to create that object here. So React element is equal to, we will put type here, we will put props, and I will spread this because it can be null sometimes. And children, we will put only if there is length in the children. So if children dot length, then we will put React element dot props dot children equal to children, and we will return this React element from here. Let me return this. And if we open our this thing, so still the error is there because we have not exported it from here and not imported in our file. So let me export it from here. We are writing React code, how it will be written behind the scenes in React. We are writing. Of course, we're not making that complex. We will not handle all the edge cases, but a simplified version of React, mini version we are creating. So export default. We will put it inside an object. And now we can import it here. We will import only React. Let me make it uppercase, React from React. And if we come here, the error is gone because it has found the React. And this JSX we can store in a variable like JSX. We can create a variable and we can console log this JSX and see how it looks. So this is how it looks. And this is React element. If you just put a JSX in a variable and try to console log, you will see something similar to this with some more properties. We have not put all the properties, only that is required we have put here. So we can create now complex structures also. For example, we can create a div with class container, and we can put h1, and we can put a paragraph tag like this. And again, if we check, it is an object with props which have two children, because we have two children here. First is h1, type h1, and then p tag. Only a few lines of code, we have created this create element function ourselves. So now what we will do by console logging, that doesn't make any sense. And one more thing, if you know what is, like, if you have heard How many of you have heard of virtual DOM in React? Everyone? How many of you have seen virtual DOM, how it looks? Okay, this is the virtual DOM. Like, this is the virtual DOM. Virtual DOM is nothing but object. Okay, it is object of, like, it looks like DOM, right? And this is div and then children, and in the children we have h1 and then its own children is there. So this is a tree-like structure and this is DOM. And behind the scenes, React manages this and compares this. Okay, and just to improve the performance. So this is a DOM. Okay, so our whole application is represented in this object kind of format behind the scenes. Okay, so now we want to show it, we want to render it on the screen. Console logging doesn't make any sense. So which library is responsible for rendering React on web? Anyone? Yes, React DOM. So let's create React DOM. React DOM. This is going to be little difficult. Okay, so React DOM, we will use a render function from React DOM. Now, if we use render function from React DOM, it is deprecated, but we will use that because that is simpler. Okay, we can use create root and then dot render that also, but that will be little complex. So we will use a render method which is exported from React DOM. So we will use something like this, render. One second, render, and then we will pass our JSX. We can pass our JSX in this render function, and then document dot create element, not create element, dot query selector, and then we will select our root, which is present in our HTML file here. That root in every React element, it is present in every React application. It is present. Okay, so right now it will give error because we have not imported it and it is not there. So let's create our React DOM render function. So I will create a function export function render, and it will receive two things, because one thing is React element, that JSX we are passing, and the second thing will be root element that we have selected. React element and root element. Of course, you can name anything you want, ABC, anything, but that will be difficult to handle. Now we will create a function. Create DOM element. And what this function will do, this is a function, not an object. This will take React element, and this will return a DOM, actual DOM element it will create. So in this React element, let us first console log React element, how it looks, and let us call it. We will call it inside the render function only, React element. And I have exported it. Let me import it here. Okay, so I have imported it. And now this console log is coming from our React DOM file. So this is the same object. It has props, and it has children prop and all the things. And it has type also, like type property also. So we will destructure these two properties inside this const type. We will take out and props equal to React element. And we will create our own element, DOM element. Const DOM element equal to document dot create element, and we will pass the type, because this type can be h1, this type can be div, type can be type of the element that we want to create, and we will return it from here. So just returning will not do anything. So we will, like, whenever we will call this create DOM element, this is returning this DOM element. So we will store it in a different variable, final DOM element. and we will append it in the root element dot append final DOM element. So if we just do this, we will not see anything on the screen. But if we come here, if we go to the root, there is one div, a small little div. It is not having any child. It does not have the content, anything. We will implement that now. Okay. So it has created the div and returned, and we have appended it here. Now what we want to do, we want to first create its child. So if props dot children, if children are there, so we will map over it. We will do a for each loop. Props dot children. I'm putting an if check because it is not always there. Like there can be an element which does not have any children. So dot for each child, what we will do, we need to check if this child is an element or a string. So if this child is in, we will check the type of child. If type of child is equal to a string, then what we will do is we will create a text node, const text node. This is simple JavaScript. This is nothing React. We are writing simple JavaScript. Text node is equal to document dot create text node, and we will pass this child, and we will append this text node to our newly created DOM element. DOM element dot append and this text node. And if else if, we will add one more condition because child can be a React element also. So else if type of child dot type, child itself can have type property if it is a React element. So what we will do, we will create DOM element, we will pass the child, and we will append the created element to our DOM. Again, we will append it. Dot append like this. And if we come to our page, it is rendered. Like H1 is coming, paragraph is coming, the text is also coming. Now class is not coming, which we have given here. Class is not coming. We have given class name here container and here heading. Now we need to handle the props also. So we can do it here above. So we will do object, like this prop is an object. So we will map over each prop. Like there can be class, there can be ID, there can be on-click handler. So we will map on this object dot entries, and we will get here key and value. So DOM element, dynamically we will set the key and value. So if we come here and refresh, it didn't come here. Let me check. Object dot entries. Okay, sorry, I have 1 second. I forgot to put here props. Props. So we will loop over this. 1 second. I forgot the syntax itself. Object dot entries. Okay, let me console log this. Console log. This object dot entries. Yes, this is good. Now we can map over it, or we can do for each. We can do for each key and value. we will set this DOM element, and dynamically we will set the key equal to value. So I need, if I remove this, and if I come to this, all the classes that we have given are coming. And if we give ID also, that will also come. Let me give ID also. ID is equal to something. So now this is also coming. Now we are rendering this using our own DOM. Now if we want to apply styles, let me try applying style. Style equal to, let's say, back, it should be an object, background color equal to, let's say, teal, and width equals max content, color white. If we try to give styles and see, nothing is coming, because styles we cannot directly apply like this. Here we are doing style and then apply value. We can use object.assign in order to apply the style. So we will check if key equal to style. If the key is style, if the prop itself is style, then what we will do, object.assign DOM element dot style, and we will pass the value, whatever is the whole object we will pass here. Else we will do, we will put this thing in else case. So this style is also coming. Let me add some padding here. Let me close this. I will add padding. Padding 8 pixel. Border radius 8 pixel. That's enough. And everything is applying. Let me give font family to this. This one also. Style equal to font family monospace. Yes, that's looking good. Let me zoom it in. Okay. So we have built a renderer which is rendering our JSX. But in React, one of the most important thing that we do is we have an array and we map over it. And we show the list of elements at one go. We don't need to write one by one. So let's say we have one array of fruits or something. Fruits equal to apple, mango, banana, grapes. That's enough. And if we want to render this fruits like UL or something, if we want to render here, UL and then LI. So what we do is we do fruits dot map, and then we will get a single fruit, and then we will return an li, and we will put this fruit dynamically here. And if we come to our React, it has crashed because it does not know how to render an array. So what we will do is we will come here and we will tell it how to render an array. So if child is a string, then render this way. If child is DOM node, then render it this way. We will put one more if else condition, else if it is array, how to check an array, how to check if something is an array or not. Yes, we will use array dot is array. If our child is array, then what we will do is, what we do, we will map over the child dot map And now child's child, what we call grandchild. I will call it element. That's enough. So we will create for each child, we will create a DOM element. And DOM element, we will pass EL, and this will return an array. Now this array of DOM elements it will return. Now if we want to append it our DOM in our DOM element, we can append it, but we need to spread. This append method in DOM, it can handle array. If we spread it like this, it will render. And if we refresh it, it is giving error because cannot convert undefined or null to object, line number 6. Okay. So like for something, it this prop is null. Okay, let me check. Okay, so for here, like here we have not passed any prop. That is why the prop is null. And what we are doing is we are trying to do prop. So we are trying to loop over the prop, but prop is null. So we will put one if condition. If props is there, then only try to loop it. Otherwise, don't. Okay, let us see. Okay, again. Okay, 1 second. What is the issue? Children. Props dot children. Again, we are doing here children. Okay, let me put a question mark here, and it is working. Now our element, all the elements that we have mapped over is not rendering. Let me check. Okay, we are rendering here li, and if array, if it and the child is array, then map over the array and return all elements. Okay, so let me put a debugger here. Why this is not rendering? Debugger. So it is not coming here. This rendering, it is not happening here. Fruits.map. Okay. Can anybody see what is the problem here? Okay, no issues. Let me put the debugger here above. Debugger. So here the prop is okay. Let us move. Now the prop is hello geeks. Okay, okay. And this children is an array. This okay, 1 second. Let me check. If this is array, then let me check my old code. What I have written it already. Custom React. And here I have put React DOM. And if array is this, then we will return DOM element. I think this React code is okay. Map child order. Yes, I should check it above. 1 second. Let me check it above. If this is array, let me put it here. Let me remove the debugger. And yes, thanks. It is working now. Okay, so now we have rendered multiple elements. Okay, actually, order was not correct, so it was going inside. So now we are rendering multiple elements. Now, if we want to make our own component, let's say we have some data. I have put one data. Let me close this window. And here I have put one JSON data. Let's say if we have courses data and if we want to show it, we can use it, we can map it. So for example, let us convert it to an app, like app component. When we have an app component, how do we create an app component? We create a function, right? We can name it app, and we can paste it, and we will return it from here. So I have returned this, and now if I want to use it like a component, we will use like this. But again, this will give error because we are not told how to handle this component. If we come to our browser, it is giving error here in the console because it does not understand how to create this. Okay, so we will check if the type of our React element is function. If type of type, yes, if type of type equal to function. If it is a function, then what we'll do is we will return create DOM element, and what we will pass here in the DOM element? Type, because type is the function which returns JSX. So if we call it, the JSX will come here. Okay, and this is working now. And if I want to pass a prop in a React component, we pass prop. Let's say if I pass name is equal to Adarsh. Okay, so if I want to access it here, let's say if I want to access it here, name, and if I try to console log it, just console log name, first thing it will give error because we have not told how to render undefined. So in React, undefined, null, and boolean, they are not rendered. So we can do one check here while rendering the child. If not child, then return. If child is undefined or something, then just return, don't do anything. Now the error is coming that this here we have passed, we are trying to destructure it. But let's see what is prop. First prop should come, then we can destructure it. Now if we try to console log props, it is undefined because when we are calling this our this function here, we are not passing props. So we will pass props here, and we will receive the props here. Now we can destructure it here. We can destructure it like this, and we can use it wherever we want to use. For example, if I want to use here, I can use the name. Sorry. So now that prop is coming. Now that we can pass props to our component, we can do something interesting. We can render, we can make a component, and we can render big things. So I have put I have created one card, course card component. It is very small. Like, let me put it in VS Code, and I will show you the contents. So I have already created 3 files. There is one CSS file which gives styling to our component, and one course data. This data is of courses, like courses, course URL, course image, and then course card is, it will accept 3 props. and then it will render the card. And this is just CSS file. So let me first import this CSS file. Import app.css, and instead of showing this UL, let me remove this UL, and we don't need this array also. Where is the array? Array of, I think I removed array of fruits already. So we will, let me put H2, check out my courses on YouTube. And we will create a div, courses container, because I have already given the style with this name in the app.css file. And now we can render our courses. So courses data, I will import it automatically. It will be imported. Dot map. Now we can name it singular course data, and we will return course card from here. Course card, and it receives 3 props. So what we can do is we can spread the prop in one go. We don't need to pass one by one. So if we do this and come to our browser, and this is how it looks. These are my courses on YouTube. You can check it out. Yes, it is both learning and promoting. Let me remove some styles from here. Now we don't need styles here because app.css file is there, and that will take care of all the stylings. So now we have created this whole application. We have rendered multiple lists through our own React, and the styling that you see, that is all just CSS. It doesn't make sense. Like there is no React in order to make it look good. React is just doing the functionality. So, but one most important thing in React is state. We use state in our React. We use state hook, and if we change any value in the state, it reflects in our screen. So now, like if we try to implement that, it will also take 20 minutes, 15 minutes. So what I will do is I will provide you on my YouTube video. You can watch it and you can make your own use state hook. I have one video and I have whole React course. So if you want to learn, this is my React course. If you click on this, it will take you to the React. And at last, after teaching everything, I have one video, build your own React also, and how to create your own custom hook to create dynamic functionalities. And not only this, I have a lot of courses, JavaScript, CSS, everything is Hindi though. Like, and that's it from my side. And thanks to Tejas Kumar, who inspired this talk. Tejas Kumar is a good speaker. He speaks in React, and by his talk, I'm inspired. So, an honorable mention for him. And that's it. If you have any questions, you can ask. And let me complete my slide where it is. And what if I say you don't know loop else? For loop. Yes, you don't know loop. You can watch this video. And thank you.